everybody. So today I'm doing a mukbang, and what I have here is my smoothie that I eat pretty much every day for lunch. It's not normally this liquidy, but the bananas didn't freeze all the way. So this is peanut butter, chocolate, banana, and ice cream. It's got like 6 bananas, frozen bananas, probably 7 dates, some vanilla extract, and probably 3 tablespoons of PB2 powder, and 1.5 tablespoons of chocolate, raw cacao. This is what I eat. Actually, I only recently started doing peanut butter because I just bought a huge tub on Amazon, probably like that big, and it's organic. And so I think the week before last, I tried this recipe and I really liked it. So decided I'd do a mukbang on it. It's so good. Gotta try this. During the week, I don't normally get to eat this much for lunch because I have to pack my lunch and take it with me to work. And so I make a smoothie, but it's not banana ice cream because it'll just melt in the fridge there. And if I put it in the freezer, I'll forget about it and then it'll get too frozen. So I just gave up on having banana ice cream for lunch, and I just make a banana smoothie with like 5 bananas, maybe more. Maybe unfrozen bananas take up less space. And then some fruit and dates and water. It's so nice out today. This morning when I recorded the workout that we're gonna do tomorrow, it was like pouring rain for part of it, and the forecast said rain all weekend, but it's really nice out today, so that's why I'm doing this out here. Also because we don't really use dining room tables. We usually eat at the couch in front of the TV, like gross slobs. But they're watching TV in there right now, and didn't want to have that in the background. And I saw how nice it was out here, and I thought I'd just like do a picnic one. It's so good. I like how it gets melted at the edges. I eat the melted part first. So, something that nobody has asked me, but I thought would be a good thing to talk about during this, was how I became vegan. So, it all started when I was about 10, and I was eating a hamburger, and my mom told me something like, "You're eating a baby cow's mother," which Sounds harsh, but it's the best thing she ever did, because that forced me to make the connection between animals and food. And it started me on my path to vegetarianism. First, we cut, like, as a family, I guess. My aunt, my mom, my other aunt, we all decided to cut out red meat. And then my aunt took it a step further and cut out everything but fish, I think. And I remember when she first told us that she wasn't going to eat chicken anymore, I totally mocked her, like as like a 10-year-old. It's like, why wouldn't you eat chicken? That's ridiculous. And then when I was about 14, maybe 13, I became a huge fan of River Phoenix, and I found out that he was vegan. Or maybe first I found out he was vegetarian. People probably didn't even know what vegan was back then. Most people still don't. But, so I decided to go vegetarian too. But I totally thought that you had to have milk. Like, it never, the question never entered my mind that whether or not people should be drinking the breast milk of another mammal as adults. So from the time I was about 14 until 22, I think, I was a vegetarian. Maybe a little earlier, 21. 21 I started, my mother again started telling me about the cruelty involved in dairy, which is really bizarre because my mother has never been a vegetarian or a vegan, and yet she's the one that started me going vegetarian and vegan. So that really, when she started telling me that kind of stuff, it really made me want to be vegan. But then, and I did it for a while, but then I was like scared that I wasn't gonna get calcium and stuff like that, and so I convinced myself that cows really aren't abused and stuff like that. But then when I was about, I think when I was pregnant actually with my first daughter, so 21, my mom gave me this book called Fit for Life, and it was by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond. And one of the things it told you to do was track everything you ate during a day, but it didn't tell you why. And so I did that, and then at the end, it's like, okay, now go back and see how much of that stuff you ate today was fresh fruits and vegetables. And the only fresh fruit and vegetable I had eaten that day was like 2 carrots. Out of everything else I'd eaten, everything else was just processed junk. And so they said, and I'm really kind of mad at them because their first book, they didn't say anything about going vegan, really, because they thought nobody would do it, but I would have done it. So initially, we cut out milk, cheese, but on their diet, and back then, like, we had just found out about like the whole margarine thing and the trans fats and how awful they were. And so they were like, butter is better for you than margarine. And so for a while we were eating organic butter. And like, you could still eat whipped cream because it didn't have the milk protein in it, which is what they said was bad for you. But really, they were vegan or mostly vegan or nearly vegan during that time, and they should have just said that, because I would have done that. So then I don't remember what made me go fully vegan. I think maybe it was their second book, Fit for Life 2, which they admit that they were vegan. And so after my daughter was born, we had I think we'd cut out pretty much all animal products. And so she was raised vegan, and then for a while, when she was about two and a half, we tried raw vegan for a while, but that only lasted 6 months because it's really hard. And I missed like all my delicious vegan foods, like potatoes and tofu. But during that raw time is when I discovered this smoothie, and I remember the first day that I made it, because it was life-changing. One of my stepdads had given me his sister's Vitamix, and it was one of those really old ones that was like an aluminum pitcher. And so, and my husband's from Alaska, and we'd gone to Alaska that summer, and they'd like cut down this forest like maybe a few years before, not a whole forest, but part of the forest. And then, so that encouraged lingonberries to grow all over it, and lingonberries are kind of like a cranberry. They taste like a cranberry, only they're smaller. And so we picked like probably 20 bags, like quart bags of those lingonberries, and froze them, and then brought them back to Oregon with us. And so I remember one day I decided to try putting a banana, some of those lingonberries, and some water. No. Back then I used almond milk. I was making my own raw almond milk. That was so good too. And back then, almonds were really cheap. Like, we could buy, I think we used to buy 20 pounds, and it was like maybe $2.50 a pound for organic almonds. So I would use, okay, so I put banana, lingonberries, frozen lingonberries, and some almond milk in there, and blended it up, and it was the best thing I had ever had. And so from that day forward, I have frozen or banana ice cream every single day, unless I don't have a blender. But this is my preferred, like, I never get tired of it. And it's changed over the years, because I don't make my own almond milk anymore, because it's like too annoying. It took forever. Like, it would take 30 minutes. I do it once a week. It would take me 30 minutes to make, actually more, probably like 45 or an hour to make raw almond milk for the whole week. And of course, something happened to the almonds along the way, and they all got really super expensive. So I quit doing that, and instead started doing just bananas, flax seeds. For a while I was doing sesame seeds and frozen fruit, blending it up. I started out, that would be my breakfast every day. Like when I was first vegan, back in the dark ages, back when there was rice milk and soy milk, and that was it. And there wasn't even any vegan butter. After we quit butter, we started using, like, we'd just use olive oil And for shortening, we used coconut oil. But we didn't even have vegan butter, except for margarine, which everybody knew was the devil. Come have food with me.
No, it's weird.
My daughter disapproves of this. But she's watching. I think she secretly wants to come eat something. No, she ran away. Yeah, and then eventually there was like, or maybe there always was like soy ice cream and rice milk ice cream, but nothing like we have now. Like back then, I can see why people would say that it was hard to be vegan. But nowadays, saying that is just a joke. And we had Boca burgers. There wasn't even tofurkey, no tofurkey sausages. There was Morning Balance, or Morning Star, which I ate a lot of before I went vegan. My diet as a vegetarian was actually really disgusting. Like, I would eat Doritos and Frappuccinos, and when I first got to college, I was living in a dorm, and my grandma bought me instant coffee and instant hot chocolate, and that's what I would have for breakfast, along with a Pop-Tart. She bought me Pop-Tarts too, so I'd have a Pop-Tart, a hot chocolate coffee for breakfast, and then for lunch I would go to the school cafeteria and I would get a cheese sandwich. It would just be bread, but I always bought whole wheat bread because that was healthy. Bread with like 3 different kinds of cheese on it. And that would be my lunch. I don't even remember what I ate for dinner back then. Probably something equally disgusting. And pretty much no fresh fruits and vegetables. In fact, when my husband and I first started dating, I met him in college. Like soon after I got to college, actually. He'd like make me macaroni and cheese for dinner, and he would put like frozen vegetables in it. Like frozen broccoli and peas and whatever, and I just thought, why are you ruining the macaroni and cheese with vegetables? Now I'm the complete opposite. And I feel so much better. Like I was actually lactose intolerant and didn't even realize it. I used to have stomach aches and all kinds of stuff. I just felt really, and you don't even realize that you're feeling bad until you start eating right and feeling good. Like you get used to feeling like that heavy, slow, like heartburn and stomachache type stuff. You just think that's normal until you are eating food that's actually good for you. Like this. Good food. Gives you energy. Keeps you slim. It's not hurting any animals. The only problem with this is that I have to make it in the food processor to make it banana ice cream. If I put it in the blender, it'll just turn like this is now. Normally it's a lot more ice creamy. But the food processor doesn't always get all the dates. So you sometimes have like a giant date chunk, which is not the worst thing in the world for sure. There's a fruit fly. A fruit fly has found me. When people say things like that it's hard to travel and be vegan, it might be hard, but it's certainly not impossible. I lived in Spain with my kids, and I managed to be vegan there. And we lived in Korea for a year, and we were vegan there. It's really not that hard. Like, what's hard is what the animals go through. Getting full. I like to feel really full when I'm done eating. I'm not one of those people that snacks. I like to feel really full when I'm done eating and really hungry when I start eating. Kind of like a low-key binge disorder. Not really though. It's still good though. Good to the last bite. And if I weren't on camera, I'd be scraping out the bowl with my fingers. It's so good. All right, there we go. Banana smoothie, or peanut butter chocolate banana ice cream mukbang. Alright, let me know if you want to see more of these. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, and share it. See you next time.